Well, a very good morning on the 26th of May, 26/5/26. And after 81 years, or 84 years it is, Uranus finally moves into Gemini. I have blue tits in the nest box. She's been very busy, and I didn't film the blackbird, Mr. and Mrs. Not much of it anyway, but they raised 2 children, and the blackbird spent weeks and weeks coming every day, as often as he could, to get some red Leicester cheese from me. I have to say it was a wonderful thing, because both of them would come and well, I fed them very well. It kept me busy, and on the final day they brought the children to the coal bunker here, down in here, and the blackbird sat up in the tree and sang me a song, say thank you, Andy. We've successfully raised our young, and it's all thanks to you. It was a very cold month, May, and the children enjoyed the cheese. So it's a very small blue tit that back and forth in this box. She's been away for several minutes. She's probably watching me from somewhere. The weather's been fantastic. I had a day in the garden yesterday, because on Sunday I completed a loop up at the back of Glen Strathglynny, a whole loop, Mailna Fairna and all the rest of it. I'm completely satisfied that that was done. I couldn't go out in the hills yesterday, it was just too hot. You would come back with melted skin. Very dangerous to be in the mountains when it's very hot. You don't realise how much you're getting burnt until you're back in the low levels. And with the wind, the breeze, it could be quite, well, a lot of people wrap up with all types of headgear. I sometimes use a towel if I'm up on the top slopes, and you have to protect yourself from that type of prolonged dangerous UV levels. I'm not really much into this staying indoors when it's hot sunshine. That's not necessary, but you have to limit the number of time, the hours that you're actually out. And if you're on the mountains for 8 or 9 hours, it can be pretty dangerous, Andy. So there's 2 of them there, both busy. This is my wood. Can't speak. This is my wood supply that I got, and I got it early to save some money, and that should do, along with my oak. I've moved that pile away. I've still got this one baking over here, and of course the birch, which is getting well seasoned in this hot sunshine. It's starting to dry out perfectly, so that will be ready, as I said, for December. I'll cover it during the worst of the autumn storms, but for now it will be well seasoned. So I was out here yesterday doing some borders there's a lot of weeds. I need to stake up my plants, but everything's looking very grand. It's given the postman some room to wander along my pathway. All this stuff on the side was starting to spread out, and I don't want the postman to trip over, bash his head, and then put in a claim to me. Parsley. Miss Daisy, should be ready to come out soon. She never fails me, this one. The peony rose. But the looks of things, we're going to get two. We've always just had a single head, but this year it looks like we're going to get two, Andy. It's a grand day, it really is. And well, I had to take away a lot of the bluebells here because my geraniums were suffocating in there. The bluebells have been an issue. But if you haul away at the all the stems and stuff and get rid of them early, it's not quite a problem. But staking up takes ages, and it's a tedious job, but it's got to be done. And I can't get into this area to rebuild my rockery, not a rockery, a retaining sort of dike in here, and backfill all the soil which is all stored in the back garden. It is a job I'm going to have to, motivate myself for and get it done at some point. You can see all the goosegrass, the sticky willy is everywhere. In the wilds, if you take that sticky willy and put it in soak it overnight and then wash your face, you'll have radiant skin. So it's a fine end to the month after such a long period of ghastly weather. But in saying that, I managed to get a lot of hill walking done, tremendous amounts. So I'm quite a busy week this week, so I'm not able to get up to complete the ones that I want to, although I'll have to make time and try and get them done. Of course the daylight helps because it's light until 10 o'clock or later now. Look at these beautiful Californian poppies, these ones here. These are the Californian ones and these are the Welsh poppies. And they're beautiful, aren't they? And then they don't last long. They turn to seed very quickly like this, you see. And then they turn to black and then you hear them popping everywhere. But I haven't been to the garden centre to buy any formal plants because, well, at the end of the day, the ones on the doorstep end up getting absolutely roasted. And I can't always be here to keep feeding them water. And they do get absolutely baked. It'd be better putting cacti there. And of course the troughs here, which were always filled with lots of colour, well, they get blocked out by the Michaelmas daisies, which get pretty high. So look at these little sweet geraniums. Beautiful little things, aren't they? And this is the last of the Sweet William. These have been in my garden for years and years, but the rest of them have gone very twiggy and dried out, and I had to discard them. Strawberry plant here, geranium. And this is calendula, self-seeding from last year. But I need to get calendula for these beds here. Yes, I do. So, and this willow has been a real problem in my garden. I put a willow hedge in and it's spread everywhere, and likewise there's willow everywhere. It's got huge roots that go everywhere, and I have to keep on top of that. But I don't spend as much time in the garden now as I used to. You know, but 20 years ago this place was absolutely gorgeous, with all the, in the autumn, with all the chrysanthemums that I used to put in, but they all became very expensive, and there was too many slugs and snails. I planted up the chrysanthemums. They were quickly devoured by the insects and, well, the slugs basically. This is an ash tree that's self-seeded. I let it grow. There used to be a birch tree in the same position, and it grew to a huge height. Now I had to take it down. I dropped the tree this way in one cut, and it fell perfectly apart from the very top. Hit that. I thought I'd damaged it for good, but it didn't. And of course my honeysuckle, which surrounds the property here. I tied it back away from the windows, easier for cleaning the windows, and I trained it all the way around, and it's quite fabulous actually. It's quite happy there, but then by late summer, well, in a few weeks' time, the sunshine gets so hot it just starts to die back. But we get lots of berries onto it. I've probably tied it a little bit tight up there, but not to worry. I can always snip that and let it fall a wee bit. But it's a wilderness garden, Annie. It all does its own thing, and always gives you some colour. But it's not the formal garden that I set out with a number of years back. I've had such an array of plants and colour in here, particularly in the early days with all the poppies and stuff. By June they were all bright pinks and reds of the poppies and stuff. It was beautiful. The Himalayan poppy that was. And then I had the the self-seeded poppies, which were in 2014. This was ablaze with colour. I remember that summer, it was absolutely gorgeous. And then everything got ruined in 2017 when they set up scaffolding around my property to put in new roans and guttering and stuff. And it was meant to be a couple of weeks job, and it ended up for 2 months. So the whole garden was absolutely decimated, and it's come back a wee bit now, but it took a long time for it to recover. There's not much chance for the weeds in this bed because there's so much other foliage, but if I go around with a prying eye, I will find there are weeds amongst this lot. And then I've got a little birch tree sitting in that pot. That's a self-seeded one as well. It started off as about that size, and it's quite happy. That's when it's going to go to the woods. I'll take all these trees that are overgrown. The back garden is complete wilderness just now, but I like it that way, and so does the cat. The cat's been around playing, and she's been visiting quite a lot recently. I gave her sardines yesterday. She was all right with that, but I think I need to get back to cat food with her. She had a couple of sardines, and I had to wash them with sunflower oil. I chose the wrong ones. But, so we better go in, get things done, Andy, but you can see that things all are a bit disorganised. They normally are when I'm busy, but you can't have OCD in your garden in the springtime. It's just impossible. Everything just explodes with growth and colour. It's impossible, Andrew. These will have to be reduced a bit again in the autumn, and the Sweet Cicely here. Again, the fairies brought this lot to the garden. I don't mind it, but it's in the wrong position, of course. Well, I suppose in a way it's the right position. Anybody else it would look ghastly. Because of a little smidging of oatmeal for them if they want it. Fresh water, of course. The lawn's not been cut back. I don't cut it till June. I've been using some of my dandelions for tea and stuff. Earlier in the month of May, of course. And we have Sweet Cicely in here. No, we don't. Sweet Cicely back there. Your brain's all mixed up. We have Ransoms with the wild garlic. They've been in for this position for years and years. They come every year without fail. And this is, what do you call it, Annie? Oh, it's not Angelica. What do you call it, Annie? Angel. That's on the tip of my tongue. It makes good ground colour. Angel. Oh, what's it called, Andrew? I'll do my head in. I'll have to put it up. It's Angel something. Let me walk through the archway, it might come to me. This is lemon balm at the back here. I've been using some of that as well for tea. That's doing my head in about that angel. Let me sit for a moment, Andrew. And put that out in the rope because that's what I had on Sunday. When I was on the mountains. I'm going to sit here for hours and hours thinking of the name of that plant. I can't believe it, but when you get a name in your brain and it sits there, it's almost like when you meet someone or you're standing with somebody and you're trying to think of the bloody name, and you spend the whole conversation not listening to a word they're saying because you're so concentrated on trying to remember the damn name. It's amazing. But the dandelions are a great source of vitamins and minerals, and I just use the heads and the leaves, and then they go to that feathery stage. I was having games with the cat with that, blowing that on their face, and I thought it was a bit cruel because they're all stuck to the cat's whiskers. She was wondering what was going on, so I stopped doing it. Yeah, the plants keeping cutting back everything, always, you know, with the lawnmowers, constantly cutting like that. There's a lot of beauty on the lawn, just letting it naturally appear with the little daisies and everything like that. And bright and beautiful little daisies are absolutely gorgeous. So that's why I don't spend a lot of time until it becomes unmanageable. Well, until it comes to the stage where I feel that if I don't do something, I won't be able to get the lawnmower onto it. So the back garden has gone quite wild now. It's but it feels it's got a, what do you call it, Andrew? It's got a real woodland feel to it all. I don't mind it like this. It's, and all the little mice and voles that cut about during the night, they like it as well. Archangel, that's what the name of that silvery plant is, with the yellow bell florets on it. And again, you can use that for medicine. I knew it was angel something, but I kept on thinking, what is it? Archangel. So I think what we'll do, Andrew, I think we'll go in and get some coffee down us, and yes, we'll see how the day unfolds. It's just nice to relax in the sunshine sometimes rather than always being active.